It's the greatest day in stock car motorsports, the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of stock car racing for the Sony Cup Series. It is the big leagues here. All the 42 car teams are set on the grid and ready to take 500 miles, 200 laps. For a normal Sony Cup Series race, we usually see about 150 miles, but today they will go much more longer than that. It'll be a true endurance race. It'll be about performance. Who can be there at the end? All the big teams have been preparing all off-season to try and win this Daytona 500. Only the big drivers win this race. Winning this race marks you as a legend. Goes down in the history books as a champion of this race. All 42 cars. No other race is like this. No other race you can see all 42 cars win a race. All 42 cars starting today has a chance to be a champion. All you have to do is just be there at the end. This is going to be the 22nd annual Daytona 500. Buckle up and hang on for 500 miles. This is the Daytona 500. As the field rolls off to complete its pace lap, the front row, Garrett Sidner, the rookie, Richard Johnson, the veteran, the legend, two-time champion. He's looking to win this race for the first time. Sidner, the rookie, what an awesome front row. The rookies, the new and the old on the front row. The dual winners, Jesse Turner and Sean Harple, are in row 2. Dom Capps, runner-up in the championship last year. He was six times last year. He finished second, didn't ever win a race. Looking to try and do that, change that, and win a second Daytona 500. Cody Lamas has been fast all speed weeks. How about James Silverfox, defending champion of this race? Alongside him, another champion of the 500, James Shelley, who's been very quick all speed weeks. Jordan Davis back in row 5 has been very quick in this race. He won the 2016 July race. However, never won the 500. He's looking to change that. Carson Scott won Chicago last year, looking for a second win in his career. Caleb Hoffman's been quick. Dejon Weeks won the Sony shootout. Steven Jenkins behind him won the July race in 2015. Luke Martin, and possibly his final race in his Sony Cup Series career, looking to end it with a Daytona 500 championship. Nick Pierre-Calise behind him, looking to recover from a terrible year he had in 2017, with Hero Motorsports having a pretty solid start to the year right now, and defending champion DJ Curtis is back there alongside of him. We have so many more guys back in the field that we can talk about, but the pace car is in for 500 miles. The Daytona 500 is set and ready to go racing. Sidner leads us down, and the green flag is out. Down the back straightaway for the first time today, door to door for the lead. Richard Johnson with really no help on the outside. Dom Capps is up there trying to help him. However, Sidner on the bottom trying to get alongside of him, but Jesse Toner slides up with Johnson. And to the stripe to lead lap 1, Richard Johnson will lead the first lap of the 2018 season. Garrett Sidner seems to be struggling with the handling on his race car because he is getting shuffled. He is not having the fastest start of the race. He's getting shuffled back in a 3-wide sandwich. Not really where you want to be. Man, he got really close on Caleb Hoffman, but our pole sitter is sliding backwards. Problems for Ryan Acosta. He was reporting possibly a flat tire. He dove it onto pit road and changed tires. This is going to hurt him. 2 years in a row, Ryan Acosta has early troubles in the 500. This pack is getting very racy at the front of the pack. James Orfox, Luke Martin, Dom Capps stuck in the middle now. Richard Johnson continuing to lead this pack around, but these guys up at the front of the pack getting real racy with each other. It is still a long race, so somebody needs to be smart enough to let Dom Capps in and keep him out of the middle, because the middle is not where you want to be, because we see a lot of the time in speed weeks, these guys get really loose and slide around, and it causes some wrecks. Dom Capps trying to find an opening. Up front at the lead, Luke Martin has slid his way underneath of Richard Johnson. 2 drivers making a one-off attempt for this 2018 season for the 500. Martin takes the lead at the line, but Cody Lamas, who saw his chances of an H&S win last night slip out of his grasp, and then on the last lap, Cody Lamas was so close to winning that race, and here he is with a shot today to try and win. But these guys getting racy mid-pack around there, about 7th position. Sean Perkins, Pasco. Look at Perkins trying to work his way to the front, 2-time champion of the race, making his way towards the front, but Lamas trying to take the lead from Martin. They're going to run up on Ryan Acosta, who has had more issues than anyone right now, because he is 5 laps down, fixing to go 6 laps down. Ryan Acosta, they were under the hood of that race car on pit road just now, and Acosta having more issues, and that is going to hold up Cody Lamas, and Luke Martin's going to hold the lead. Here's a couple of drivers I see marching their way towards the front. That is Dylan Young in the 88 Yamp Motorsports Ford, and he has charged his way from the very far the back of the field. So has Jeffrey Lynn, and Rodriguez and Chris Dodd. They're charging their way to the front. They're inside the top 20, closing in on the top 10. They started deep in the pack, and they're coming up to the front. However, up at the lead, you can see how the field is starting to spread out little by little. Tire wear is becoming to be a thing here. Who can stay in the gas longer through the corners to get more of a run? That is the big thing. Handling is huge here at Daytona. Richard Johnson trying to go after Luke Martin for the first time in a long bit. Luke Martin has had the lead for a long while here, and Martin trying to keep the lead. Look at how good Martin is able to hold the lead on the high side. Keeps Richard Johnson back, this racing's going to be intense. Pit stops will be coming up in about, I would say, probably 20 more laps. The leaders are going to run up on slow lap car PJ Williams. Williams is going to be their first real lap car to have to deal with all day besides Acosta. But Williams is going to go one lap down, and Luke Martin looks as though he's going to stay in the lead. Trouble in the back of the field. Jeffrey Lynn is around. Levi Pascoe is in it. The Athenian cars of Eric Burton and Sean Harple. Nick Mace is in there, tipping over Sean Harple. Matthew Rodriguez, Josh Crash, defending champion of DJ Curtis is in it. Nick Mace plowing again into Matthew Rodriguez. Wow, that is a bit of race cars involved. Focusing in on Jeffrey Lynn. They're 3 wide, and Chris Dodd just pushes up right into Jeffrey Lynn, into William Brock, into Dylan Young, Pascoe. Then there's Rodriguez, Garrett Sidner, the pole sitter got involved. Carson Scott got a good bit of it. There's where Curtis got his piece. Everyone got a good bit of damage from this. We're going to ride on board with Season 13 Daytona 500 champion, Nick Mace. The wreck happened right in front of me. Tried to get slowed down in time, but just ran into Jeffrey Lynn, and I'm not sure if the hood might have been in his way because remember the roof is right there. I don't know what Nick Mace was really thinking, but that last lick with Matthew Rodriguez was enough to take him out of the race. We're going to ride on board with Kyle Collins. He missed the whole accident. He just stuck it high and watched as all the race cars slid down the banking, and that obviously was the best choice. Collins keeps going. And coming back to the restart, Jordan Davis has grenaded the engine. Davis beat everyone out on pit road. However, his engine is gone and blown up, and Davis will be out of the race along with a lot of drivers that just wrecked out. Well, with Davis out of the race, that's going to hand the lead back over to Richard Johnson. 2 veterans, Richard Johnson, Luke Martin, lead the race. Then it is rookie Caleb Hoffman, another veteran, and James Shelley in 4th, having a great run. Cody Lamas in 5th. With this many race cars out of the race now, this is going to open the door wide open to a bunch of other drivers to be in the mix of this for the win. We have a total of how many? There's 33. There's only 32 cars still running on the racetrack, so we have about 10 cars out of the race and about 10 more that are heavily damaged. Up in the front, however, Cody Lamas is looking to take the race lead, and with some help from Ryan Griffin, will take it. Lamas is your new leader. But as soon as Cody Lamas takes the lead, Ryan Griffin will look to take it, but James Silverfox to the inside of Griffin. Trying to take, what is Silverfox doing? Sliding up. Wow. That was almost another big crash, and that would have took out almost the entire pack that was still left running. Goodness grief, man. Cody Lamas keeps going with the race lead, but Martin and Johnson look like the best cars out there right now. The Sony Cup Series officials are black flagging Bradley Bishop Jr., telling him he needs to pick up the pace or he will be black flagged and parked for the day. So his team is bringing him back down pit road, trying to repair that car some more. After nearly spinning on the apron, James Silverfox has found a way back to the front, and he is your new race leader in the Daytona 500. At this point in the race, that was probably the big one that we just had. That big wreck that took out 10 race cars and really ruined a bunch of other race cars' day. I think if you missed that wreck, you still have a chance to win the Daytona 500. That eliminated a good bit of race cars. That this is going to be a good one here. Bradley Bishop Jr. is going to be our next lap car to deal with. However, Silverfox, we're going to look here. Silverfox, Jenkins, Dodd, Bassinger, Griffin, Caps, Lamas, Johnson, Martin, Turner, Williams, Fitzwater, Hoffman, Finguy, Lester, DeMax, Shelley, Schwellenberg, Piercles, and maybe Perkins. Perkins and Sanford have damage from that last incident. They have been off the pace a little bit. But any of those guys can still win this Daytona 500, and they are competitive enough to run in the lead draft and compete for this 500. We're not even a fourth of the way through. Silverfox is the leader as they go around Bradley Bishop Jr. The leaders will come up on lap traffic again, who are side by side. Rodriguez, Sidner, and Pascoe are racing each other. And this is going to bunch the field back up yet again. They were separated for a little bit. And it looks as though the new leader will be Steven Jenkins. And on the bottom, Jenkins pushes his way past Silver Fox. And the one car of Steven Jenkins is your new race leader. However, not for long, he gets held up by Pasco again. And on the inside, Luke Martin with Fitzwater, Penguy, and Shelley all go by on the inside. Lap traffic might as well be the name of the game for the rest of the race with damaged race cars. But up at the front, Jeffrey Penguy has found her way to the inside of Luke Martin, and he's looking to be your new race leader with help from Zachary Fitzwater, James Shelley, and Sean Perkins. But Shelley's looking to go to the inside of Fitzwater. But it looks as though Penguy is going to get the lead. He has the most help and the dodge of the Penguy Saitomi Motorsports. Jeffrey Penguy takes the race lead. But as soon as he takes the lead, Fitzwater gets his nose underneath the Penguy, and Zachary Fitzwater for Fisher Motorsports is going to take the lead into turn one with help from James Shelley. Sean Perkins is there. I'm going to tell you, some guys like Sean Perkins, Eric DeMax, and looking for some other guys, but those two in particular, DeMax and Perkins, they have some engine damage, and they're holding their own right now in this lead pack. And with some help from Luke Martin, Jeffrey Penguy keeps the lead. Jenkins, Dodd, Silver Fox, Schwallenberg, Bassinger, Sanford, Lamas really are not big fans of the lap cars back here that really held them up, because now they have lost the lead draft. Crash! Eric DeMax is around, and he got spun to the outside wall, and he's still going, but the caution flag is out. Eric DeMax got turned up in the wall. You know, it was very similar to Dodd. He pushed up the racetrack right into Sean Perkins, into Jesse Turner. Turner got a bit of damage. Caleb Hoffman got a bit of damage there as well. Eric DeMax. That's three other race cars that get taken out. As we come back to the restart, Jeffrey Penguy is still your race leader. Dom Capps is in second. Luke Martin third. Zachary Fitzwater fourth. James Shelley in fifth. It's going to be interesting to see how these cars are and who is all going to be competitive enough to win this race, because there's still a bit of race cars that are out there that are really off the pace, like Pasco and Rodriguez. Sidner and Williams are off the pace. Bishop Jr. is off the pace. I got to find Jesse Turner. Turner should be in the back. I think he's going to have the worst damage of that guy's in the last pack. He's further in the back of the field. And the 94 of Caleb Hoffman, he's further in the back. He's like last right now. He might be all right, but we're going to have to see how everyone is. But up front, Dom Capps is looking to take the lead from Penguy. Everyone's kind of separated because lap cars are holding everyone up right now. Trouble for Zachary Fitzwater. He was running so well. He's reporting possibly a flat tire or something is going on under the hood. Something is wrong with Fitzwater. An unscheduled pit stop. Lap cars were the end of the deal for Dom Capps and Jeffrey Penguy. They have now lost the lead pack. However, it is still long to go in the race. Capps, Penguy, and Bobby Jones out of the draft. However, they can still catch back up. They're still racing hard up here in the lead pack. However, these leaders are still trying to run down the top four, who are together in a line that pulled away. The leaders are James Silverfox, James Shelley, Luke Martin, and Richard Johnson as they run up on another lap car, Caleb Hoffman. However, Steven Jenkins has ran the leaders down. He has kind of had some help from Chris Dodd, Ryan Acosta, Cody Lamas, Casey Lester. They have ran this pack down. The lead pack is really spread out, as you can tell. No pack racing. These guys are wide open, trying to dodge lap cars every which way they can, and it's made for some good show at the front. However, the leaders are getting a little dicey themselves. But Jenkins leading the charge of cars, trying to run down the leaders, and everyone else behind him trying to get up there too, as pit stops, green flag pit stops are possibly underway, as Chris Dodd's the first one to come down on pit road. Here comes Jenkins. He's got to run looking for the lead. James Shelley has found a way to the point as well. How about this weekend for James Shelley? Ran very well in the duels. And here he is out front in the Daytona 500, leading the way. He didn't even run most of the race most of all season. And here he is, leading the guys around for the Daytona 500, having a good showing right now. I've got to give a call to Hayden Klein, our Season 4 Daytona 500, or Season 4 champion of this series. Hayden Klein has never won a Daytona 500. However, with the startup race team, he might as well be winning this one. Running inside the top 10 in this Daytona 500, running with the door-to-door with the likes of Jake Bassinger. Klein, Season 4 champion. He's not had the very best of lucks recently in his career. He's had many ups and downs, and lately it's been a lot of downs. But Hayden Klein in a startup race team for this season, he had to use a past champion's provisional to make the race. He started shotgun on the field, and here he is inside the top 10, running door-to-door for the 8th position. How about this name? Casey Lester to the inside of James Silverfox for the lead. Our defending Daytona 500 champion, having such a great run. He's in a part-time season for Yant Motorsports for this year. And here he is out front trying to win yet again for back-to-back races. However, rookie Casey Lester looking to win in his first time out. Actually, his second time out. However, Lester, door-to-door with help from Cody Lamas, is going to take the lead. Actually, no, he's not. Look how good James Silverfox got through the corner and just blasts his way to the front back again. Halfway in the race, Casey Lester with the run on the outside of James Silverfox, trying to take the lead. Halfway in the race, and what I was talking about earlier in the race, about this being an endurance race, you have to pace yourself. You have to stay in contention all race long, and these 7 drivers are doing that right now, seeing that their chances of winning a 500 are getting greater by the moment. Greater by every lap. Lester is going to lead this lap halfway in the race. Silverfox, Martin, Lamas, Shelley, Jenkins, and Johnson all sit in a very good position to win this Daytona 500. Half a race to go here. However, driver Dodd pitted, and that was an uncontrolled tire. Dodd had to come in for an unscheduled stop, but Capps, Smith, Weeks, Finguy, Bassinger, Perkins, Collins, and Klein are trying to hang in there and hope that their chances of 500 stays intact. Some of our leaders are starting to come down pit road. Pit stops are starting to happen. We nearly had a big crash in turn 3 right here with Richard Johnson and Cody Lamas. Whoa, what a save! Cody Lamas, what a heck of a save! Oh my goodness! Jeffrey Finguy is going to decide to come down pit road now. He is the last driver that has not made a pit stop yet. He nearly got wiped out of that one as well, but good lord, that was an insane save. Trouble for Nick Pierre-Calise. He blows the motor, and his day is done. So after green flag pit stops, it is lap 112 of 200. Luke Martin is the leader. James Shelley in second. Chris Dodd in third. Remember, Dodd pitted unscheduled. He's in third. He's going to have to pit the earliest of everyone else. Then it is James Silverfox fourth. Fifth is Stephen Jenkins. Sixth is Cody Lamas. Seventh is Richard Johnson. Eighth is Casey Lester. Ninth, Jake Bassinger. 10th, Sean Perkins. 11th, Dejon Weeks. 12th is Charlie Smith. 13th is Hayden Klein. 14th, Dom Capps. And 15th is Jeffrey Finguy, who is just barely hanging on to the draft. He is going to have to get after it, and I think he might have lost the draft, actually. So right now it looks as though 14 cars after pit stops made it back on the draft. With 80 laps to go, the front 3 have pulled away from the pack. James Silverfox, James Shelley, and Luke Martin run nose to tail with a bunch of lap cars. You see all the lap cars around them. We are focused on the 28, the 07, and the 34 as they are battling for the lead with 80 laps to go. What a job by James Shelley. He's the one that's impressing me the most. And then also the United Emirates Racing Team in the 34 team. For Luke Martin, his last race in the Sony Cup Series, having a chance to win the Daytona 500. They're getting help from Martin Motorsports and also Turner Performance Racing for half the season. So that team is really doing well with that alliance. James Shelley, the defending 500 winner out front, having a great run, trying to defend the lead from James Shelley. Shelley has not had a sniff of the lead or a win in a long while, and he sits with Finguy Saitomi in second place with a chance to win today's race. But back in 4th position, these drivers trying to play catch-up. Jake Bassinger, Dom Capps, Richard Johnson, Stephen Jenkins, Chris Dodd, Dejon Weeks, Charlie Smith, Cody Lamas, Sean Perkins, and Casey Lester. 13 drivers still right here in the mix of everything. They can run these leaders back down. They cannot give up. They have a chance to still get back up there. 13 drivers are still in the mix of this. However, Hayden Klein and Jeffrey Finguy have lost that pack, and they look like they will not be a factor unless a caution comes out. And it looks as though we're going to get a new leader with Luke Martin peeking out front. And those guys I said that were having to play catch up, here they are. Bassinger, Dom Capps, and Stephen Jenkins. They're all right here on James Sorfox now. They ran him down. He's in 3rd, and the leaders are losing their lap cars that were helping them out, and that pack is catching them. Silver Fox now with Bassinger, Jenkins, and his teammate Dejon Weeks. Oh boy, this pack's gonna get even bigger now. As I said, that pack was going to starting to get really big, and once again, lap cars got in the way, and it held up James Silverfox, Sean Perkins, Cody Lamas, lap car Charles Sanford. Chris Dodd just got done making a pit stop yet again. He's on the pit early strategy. Charlie Smith also lost the lead draft. So these 4 drivers, at least these 3 that are on the lead lap, are really going to have to make some hay here. They're going to have to really get up there and make something happen. I don't know if they'll be able to run that lead pack down with the amount of cars they have. They may have well just got eliminated. So now the top 7 looks as good to win this race, and we're not even done with our last pit stop of the day. We nearly had an accident here with Bradley Bishop Jr. and Dejon Weeks, as Bishop trying to come up in front of Dejon, and Weeks went sideways, and so did Bishop Jr. I have no idea why Bishop Jr. is trying to throw blocks when he's so slow on the track. He needs to just get off the track or move out of their way or something, because he's so slow and he's in the way of these leaders. As the leaders close in on 50 laps to go and close in on lap traffic, these are the drivers up here battling for the win. Luke Martin, James Shelley, Stephen Jenkins, Dejon Weeks, Jake Bassinger, and Richard Johnson. Dom Capps got held up by the 81 of Bradley Bishop Jr., and Sony Cup Series officials are calling for Bishop Jr. to the hauler after the race for blocking leaders and holding them up. Dom Capps being one of them, and James Sorfox being another. Sorfox with no help right now. He's actually been pulling away from Lamas and Perkins, but to no avail of catching the leaders. Up front, they are 3 wide for the 3rd position up here. Wow, they're racing really hard. But Martin, looking like one of the best cars out front, leads, closing in on 50 to go. We nearly had another wreck as they were 3 wide. Shelley leaning on Acosta. That was almost bad there. Shelley trying to go up the middle through these lap cars, and Acosta sideways on the apron. Oh boy, this is a hairy bunch of cars. And I don't like Acosta being on the apron trying to pass cars on the apron as Acosta up the track into Martin. He shoves Martin to the wall. Martin's around and in the wall. Jake Bassinger's involved in it. Caleb Hoffman yet again. Luke Martin with a shot to win the Daytona 500 is around and is out of the running. It looks, I don't know for sure. His car looks relatively intact, but he door slammed one of those cars. It all starts back in turn 1. Acosta gets up against James Shelley, makes hard contact with the right side. And off turn 2, I believe Acosta thought he might have had a tire going down, because he was shaking off of turn 2, and he had that car pointed towards the apron just in case. It felt like he wasn't going to be able to make the corner, and all of a sudden he turned it down the apron, but it just shot back up into Luke Martin. And Caleb Hoffman hooked Jordan Fisher up in the outside wall, and that's why Hoffman spun in front of Martin. Martin would have kept it straight if Hoffman wasn't spinning in front of him. But the leader of the race, it's going to be James Shelley. Man, cars are dropping like flies out here, and Shelley in the 07 is your leader. Looking at it again, there's Acosta sideswiping Martin. Oh, yeah, Martin coming back up the track, hooked Hoffman, and Hoffman slid down the track into Fisher. That's what happened to make those guys get contact. Tough break for Bassinger. He had a good car. chance to win the 500. Now he has damage. But Martin's car looks like it might be okay. It's got some right side damage, but he should be all right. We're going to ride on board with Luke Martin. Riding on board with John Weeks. Man, he took a heavy look at the outside wall. Tough break for Weeks. He had a good car. That's going to take him out of contention. Coming back to the green, it'll be 48 laps to go. We believe everyone can make it all the way on fuel, and there will be no more pit stops if they don't have to. Hayden Klein pitted while the wreck happened, so he took service under green conditions and was able to stay on the lead lap. So attaboy to Hayden Klein, he is your race leader. However, we have 14 cars on the lead lap and are in contention to win this. The 14 drivers are Hayden Klein, James Shelley, Stephen Jenkins, Richard Johnson, James Silverfox, Sean Perkins, Dom Capps, Cody Lamas. We're going to look here on the board. Hayden Klein, James Shelley, Stephen Jenkins, Richard Johnson, James Silverfox, Sean Perkins, Jake Bassinger, Dom Capps, Cody Lamas, Jeffrey Finguy, Charlie Smith, Bobby Jones, Kyle Collins, and Luke Martin are still on the lead lap and in contention to win this. Up front, however, James Shelley is your leader, but Stephen Jenkins looking to take it away. Dom Capps making a run at the lead. We're closing in 40 laps to go here at the Daytona 500. 9 cars in this lead pack in contention to win the Daytona 500. Capps, Jenkins, Finguy, Lamas, and Shelley the top 5, but you got to look out for Perkins, 2-time champion, and also 2-time champion of his own right in the series. Richard Johnson looking for his own Daytona 500 championship. Perkins is a 2-time Daytona 500 champion to be specific. How about Hayden Klein having a fantastic run for his startup team? His team didn't even qualify in, really had to use a past champion's provisional to get in. He's got a shot to win the Great American Race. James Silverfox also in this battle to defend his Daytona 500 championship. Front 4 single file, Dom Capps leads the 500. Trouble for Sean Perkins. Perkins has got a cut tire, and he's got to dive it on a pit road. Tough break for the 2-time Daytona 500 champion. Perkins, with a chance to win his third 500, is out. Here comes Stephen Jenkins to the inside of Dom Capps. He has a run, and he has everyone else behind him. Richard Johnson to the inside with him. Cody Lama swings it high, but Jenkins goes back to the top side. Here comes Finguy to the bottom to help out Johnson. And to the race lead, the Yant Motorsports Ford of Stephen Jenkins. However, Richard Johnson digging hard on the inside, trying to make something happen. Side by side for the race lead. Lap cars in the mix of this as well, with Chris Dodd in there. Some other lap cars of Ryan Griffin and Casey Lester are all in the mix of this. However, 8 cars battling for the lead in the 500. Jenkins peeks out in front with the lead. Jeffrey Finguy shoving his nose in there, beating and banging with Richard Johnson. Man, these guys are getting racy at the front. They know it's time to go, and they're racing as like it's the last lap because they're trying to get themselves in position to get to the front and win this Daytona 500. 8 guys up in the lead pack, still having a chance to win this. Whoa, Finguy nearly getting turned by Dodd. But 8 cars right here with a shot to win the 500. How about Richard Johnson? Didn't even race last year. He is a 2-time champion of the series. He's won everything there is to win in the Sony Cup Series, but the Daytona 500, this race has eluded him his entire career. He has came back to do it one last time to try and win the 500, and here he is in a good position to do that, sitting in second. This could be the big part of the race. Dealing with lap cars, Jenkins looks like he's possibly going to make the best of it. He brings lap car Chris Dodd with him. Dom Capps gets by, Cody Lamas, Jeffrey Finguy, Hayden Klein, all get by on the inside. And Jenkins gets held up. Jenkins gets held up by the 96, and Dodd goes by. Dodd goes by with the lead. Dom Capps Dom Caps goes to the lead. I said Dodd, but I mean Dom. Dom Caps to the race lead. Stephen Jenkins gets back down in second. Lamas is in third, but here comes Jeffrey Finguy. Bringing Hayden Klein with him, but Klein gets shuffled out. Oh boy, dealing with lap cars has been a big deal here. These guys trying to find a way around Garrett Sidner. Oh, and Cody Lamas is going to have to pit. Lamas is going to have to give it up and come down pit road. Jeffrey Finguy still dealing with Sidner. Front two have pulled away. However, a caution for debris off of a crash that happened off of turn 4. You can see the skid marks there. It happened with the lap cars of the Blue Flares. Garrett Sidner and Bradley Bishop Jr. are hooking each other, and they raked each other out of the race. The debris counted it as the caution. However, as we come back to the restart, it'll be 16 laps to go. 10 race cars are still on the lead lap and in contention to win this race. Richard Johnson, Stephen Jenkins, Dom Caps, James Sowerfox, Jeffrey Finguy, James Shelley, Hayden Klein, Charlie Smith, Bobby Jones, and Jake Bassinger are all still in the mix to win the Daytona 500. Lap cars are going to be a big deal here. Dom Caps throwing it 3 wide. This is for the lead on Richard Johnson. Johnson has the lead. However, Griffin's in the middle. He is a lap down. And Cap sliding up almost into his teammate. He is in his teammate. Side by side. Don't want to do that too many times because we've seen Ryan Acosta cut a tire down because of that. And Caps door to door trying to find some sort of run, looking for help from Silverfox. But Richard Johnson gets away and holds the lead. Less than 15 laps to go. Dom Caps, the Season 11 Daytona 500 winner, to the inside of Richard Johnson and for the race lead. Dodd and Griffin, teammates to Caps, are a lap down, and they're in the middle of Jenkins and Finguy, who are trying to get back to the front. Johnson on the outside, however, keeps the lead. What a well of a run he had, and he keeps it. James Silverfox has a run with Stephen Jenkins up high. The Yamp Motorsports cars seemingly to team up and trying to get around Dom Caps, but he slides back in third. James Silverfox with his teammate Stephen Jenkins have moved into second and third. Defending Daytona 500 champion, Silverfox took a peek at the inside. However, Jenkins couldn't quite make the move quick enough to get behind Silverfox. Silverfox tried to get there, couldn't get there in time. And Richard Johnson still holding the lead. It'll be 10 to go at the line. Up front, James Silverfox has a run, and he's going to get to the inside of Richard Johnson. Can Silverfox go back-to-back in the Daytona 500? He's got his teammate of Jenkins in behind him. But the outside has seemed to be the preferred line here late in the run. And Jenkins stays up high with Johnson. And that keeps Johnson up in front of the lead. And probably the preferred line up high. With 9 laps to go. He goes the inside. He gives the outside to Stephen Jenkins. Dom Caps, Jeffrey Finguy up there, trying to make something of it. Dom Caps going up the middle. 3 wide for second. Caps to the inside. Richard Johnson's going to have to block and block and block and hang on. He has been in this position many a times in the 500. However, here comes Caps back to the inside. Jeffrey Finguy becoming a player. He's in a third. Another battle for the lead. Stephen Jenkins has got to run to the inside. He might be able to get alongside of him. But Johnson has been so good down in 1 and 2. He's going to need some help. And on the inside, Chris Dodd pushes a fellow Ford driver out front. And Stephen Jenkins leads the Daytona 500 with 8 laps to go. And Johnson going back after Stephen Jenkins. Gonna try and take the lead. He's underneath of Jenkins again. Richard Johnson with a one-off attempt, trying to win the Daytona 500 for Jeff James Incorporated. Trying to slide up in front of the 1 car. Gets there. Here comes Chris Dodd, a lap car, getting in between these guys. Dom Caps looking for some running room. James Sowerfox, Jeffrey Finguy, they're all in the mix of this. How about Hayden Klein? He's back there in 6th place. Jenkins on the outside, trying to get a slingshot on Richard Johnson. Right now, he's got a run right now. Levi Pasco may play a role. He's going to be the only lap car here at the end of this race. And here comes Jenkins down the inside of Richard Johnson, and he's going to get there. Lap car Levi Pasco holds up the 93, and that's going to hold him up. And Silver Fox, and Finn Guy, and Shelly. The inside line looking like it's going to prevail, with Steven Jenkins, Dom Capps, and Hayden Klein moving into third place. Richard Johnson looking to do the upset. Looks like it's not going to happen. Levi Pasco held him up so bad he's almost out of contention now. Same with Jeffrey Finguy and James Shelley. They're too far back now to make anything happen. Same with Silver Fox, I believe. It's going to be a race between these guys up front. 5 laps to go. Steven Jenkins is out front, but Dom Capps is looking to take it away. Capps is on the back bumper. They are broke away from the rest of the pack. The next nearest competition is Hayden Klein, who is having a fantastic run right now in third position. This is outstanding for the Season 4 champion. He started dead last. He's up here with a chance to win it. But he's going to have to pass these 2 guys, and they look awful quick. Steven Jenkins, Dom Capps to the line. It'll be 3 laps to go for Steven Jenkins to win the Daytona 500. He's going to have to hold off Dom Capps, but Capps making a run to the inside, and we've seen how that's not really the preferred line. He bottoms out, loses time to Steven Jenkins. And Hayden Klein's going after second position, going for second on Dom Capps. Dom Capps threw a heavy block on Hayden Klein, and Klein trying to make something happen. However, he doesn't have much help, and also he's on the inside line, which is not the preferred groove you want to be in turn 1. But coming around, it'll be 2 laps to go for Steven Jenkins. Dom Capps is going to wound her up again, get her a run. He's got a great run on Steven Jenkins, looking low off turn 2. Hayden Klein throwing some heavy blocks as well. He's trying to hang on to an awesome finish, but a lap and a half to go. Dom Capps looking for his second Daytona 500 victory. Sean Perkins and Jacob Harder, the only drivers to win 2 Daytona 500s. Steven Jenkins trying to win his Daytona 500, never won it before. Capps takes the lead. Remember, most Daytona 500s have been won on a last lap pass. Will there be a last lap pass? Steven Jenkins looking to take it away. However, he's in the unpreferred line, taking the lead into turn 1, but can he hang on? Dom Capps trying to steal this one and hang on. Off turn 2, the Season 6 champion has the advantage. And it looks like he's got the line. Dom Capps, winless all last year, finished second 6 times in the 2017 season. Came up runner-up in the championship. He's going to start off 2018 strong, rounding turn 4. Open the door for Dom Capps, 2-time Daytona 500 champion. That's going to be Dom Capps. Dom Capps in the 6 Martin Motorsports Ford takes home the win. For his second Daytona 500 victory and his first win since Season 16. Heck of a run for Dom Capps. He had a fast car all day long. Hung in there and had a great run. Steven Jenkins comes up short, but he'll have to settle for second. Third place, you're going to have to give a heck of a call to Hayden Klein. This car didn't even make the race on speed or qualifying or owner points or even race his way in. Klein had to rely on a past champions provisional to make the field. Started 42nd, and he finishes 3rd with his startup team. That is incredible. That team has been sort of off the pace all speed weeks, and he finishes 3rd with it. 4th place is Jake Bassinger after being involved in wrecks, and James Silverfox, defending champion, is no longer a defending champion. He finishes 5th. Give the defending champion crown over to Dom Capps. He had a very good year last year, other than not winning a race and not winning the championship. Finished 2nd in the points. He had the most top 10s out of anybody last year with 21. He's going to start off the year as your point leader and looking to win the championship. He's looking like the favorite to win the championship. Heck of a run for Dom Capps and Martin Motorsports on winning the Daytona 500 yet again. Here, let's get you to our finishing results after the 2018 22nd Annual Daytona 500.